Um, One of the first message I'm getting out for you here is I see you. I feel like for a lot of you, it could be you, but I feel like somebody is coming in and they're trying to be nice, like on a superficial level. They're trying to be cordial, they're trying to be nice, they're trying to see where they stand with you, they're taking their temperature when it comes to you. And they might be trying to inch their way or bulldoze their way back into your life. They're doing this at first in a very, very subtle manner, and then I feel like they get a little bit more aggressive or a little bit more courageous, and then they might try to squeeze their way in. Okay, and I feel you turning to them in a very polite manner, and you're like, thank you, but no thank you. So that's what I feel happening for the next 2 weeks. And it's actually I laugh about this mainly because I don't feel it's a relationship. I'm not feeling a heavy relationship, like love relationship energy. What I do sense is, like, in the past you were dealing with someone who was not fair to you, okay, whatever that means. I feel like this person wielded or has or still wields a significant amount of power over you. They're showing up here as the emperor in the reverse position. This is a person of in a position of authority. It could be a work supervisor. It could be somebody within your household that out of that sense of seniority, you look up to them, or you have respected them in the past. I don't feel like they're a bad person. I feel like they have some admirable qualities. They're very courageous. They can be quite generous, but at their worst, they can be very domineering. Manipulative is what comes to mind as well. Um, and I feel like it's somebody that use your feelings against you. Okay, so they might have said some very, very hurtful words or thrown about some hurtful words here and there when they're at their worst. And I feel like, throwing tantrums, um, trying to be the bigger person but failing. And I feel like it really tested your resolve. It really tested your ability to be the bigger person whenever this person is in the picture. I feel for a lot of you, honestly, you might be dealing with a fire sign. I'm actually feeling all kinds of elements with this person, but I feel like, at the core, they are an authority figure. They have fire in their, a lot of fire where, they kind of explode and then they forget about it. And the term selective memory comes to mind. So, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, I feel like it could be somebody with these qualities would like fire heavily in their chart. It could be their sun, moon, or rising, but I feel like they have a temper, and when it flares up, they might say some very hurtful things, but then they get over it and they brush it off and then they forget about it. But what they don't understand is that every time they throw a tantrum or every time they get upset, they throw a lot of mean words out in the open. And the situation itself, no matter how badly you feel, no matter how upset you are, people need to learn to regulate their emotions, right? And people need to conduct themselves with decorum, especially in public. So you feel like this person is like a little bit of a bully, and their main defense is that, oh, I was upset. I didn't mean what I said. But the bottom line is the words were thrown about carelessly, and it did hurt you, and it did hurt a lot of other people as a result. So I feel like if you're dealing with this situation, somebody is trying to make amends with you. Somebody is trying to, like, like glide their way into your life, and you're like, thank you, but no thanks. So I feel like that's what's happening mainly. The other thing I'm feeling here is there's some financial, like some unanticipated expenditures that's coming through for you. Okay, so this is, I feel like, on the home front, there might be some things that you need to fix up. I don't feel like it's a major fixer upper. I don't feel like, the roof is caving in or anything like that. I just feel like there's some minor expenditures, and I feel like it pertains to doors, gates, or fences, okay? Some entryway, something that you need to do, something that you need to buy. And I also feel like you might be attending some type of celebration as well. So, it is your birthday time, and I feel like somebody might be throwing a surprise party for you. And I feel like there might be that person trying to, um, fall in your good graces. Like they might try to make amends. And I feel the thing here is that it's okay to forgive somebody. Okay, it's okay. It's really okay to forgive people, and that's something we should strive for. But when someone is like really just over and over and over again, they keep doing the same things, and then every time they come back, they expect to be forgiven. And I feel like they have a bad temper. So my advice here is that I feel like a lot of you have a celebration to go to, and it might be a birthday celebration, and the other person is like, "Hey, I'm gonna use your birthday to, reconnect with you, and to see to iron things out, or to see if we can rekindle, or if we can like reconcile." And that's perfectly fine, and it's okay. You can tell them, "Hey, I forgive you." And then you can say like, but I'm not ready to have you back in my life. And I feel like that's perfectly fine. They will understand, because I feel like this is not a bad person we're dealing with. They just have problems with emotional moderation, okay? They just have problems with like when they're upset. I feel like they throw around words that are quite hurtful, and it really did hurt you in the past. And I feel like you've strengthened up, you've developed thicker skin, you know how to adequately deal with this person. For some of you, you might still have a lot of feelings and love and things like that for this person. And if you still have love, if you still have, really deep rooted feelings for this person, I feel like they are genuine. But I do think that, you need to like you need to draw up boundaries, and you need to be very careful that they're not, overstepping boundaries this time around. So a discussion about boundaries, and discussion about, these are appropriate behaviors in public and these are not. That's going to be necessary for you to like mend the rift between the two of you, because I feel like they are trying to change. They might need some guidance, okay? Do with that as you will, because I feel like for some of you, you're done and you're just like, no, I forgive you, but I'm not letting you back into my life because you've said some really messed up, awful things. And they might turn that around and they might say like, I don't remember saying that. So, I did mention selective memory. So that's coming in. On the other hand, if this is you that's having the selective memories, and people are saying like, and you feel like, two, three, four people are saying like, remember when you said this, and you're like, no, I would never say that. But then if multiple people are bringing the same topic up, maybe you want to be careful about selective memory, projecting, like remembering things, or just like remembering the good and choosing to conveniently forget the bad. That's very problematic. That's, avoidant behavior. So be careful about that, okay? What else I'm also seeing is that a lot of you are emotionally in a really good space right now. So you are either in a very, very supportive relationship where you feel like you don't have to put on a mask with the other person, where you feel like no matter what you do, the other person, your significant other or your spouse, doesn't judge you. So I feel like you're in a really good emotional space. You know about healthy boundaries. You know about, like drawing clear boundaries with yourself. You know how to live and let live, and you don't impose your beliefs and your thoughts, your feelings on another person. So I feel like emotionally you're in a very, very good space in the work front, in the relationship front. That's a lot of you, majority of you. You're feeling quite good. You're feeling quite hopeful. And for some of you, there's still that person from the past. And I feel like if it is a significant other, or if it is like somebody that you have broken off ties with, mainly because they do hurtful things, and I feel like they're controlling. I feel control issues, okay? I would advise you not to invite this person back in, because I feel like you might do that. And so if it's somebody with massive control issues, if it's an ex and they had control issues, I don't think that's going to go well the second time around. So just be mindful about that, okay? If you just want to, reconcile and air out your grievances and then move on respectively without each other, that's perfectly fine. This is a good month overall for you to encounter old energy, to resolve conflicts from the past. And Mercury in retrograde is always a good time to rehash and find creative solutions to existing problems, okay? And I feel that's going to go well for a lot of you, and I feel like overall you're in a really good space right now. What else is coming through here? I feel some discussions about long-term travel. I mean, like travel that might not happen this month, but I do feel some discussions about travel in the future, or even, happening next month or sometime like in the future. But I feel like some discussions about that, and you're trying to figure out, you and another person are trying to figure out, how are we going to save up this money in order to make this trip happen? What do we need to like skimp on? And, how are we realistically going to do this? So I feel you and another person, possibly like more than one other person, are discussing something about travel and some long-term prospects. Okay, so it looks very good. I feel like, people are going to pull through for you, and they're going to show you a lot of love and a lot of support this month. And I don't even feel like it's just a birthday thing. I feel like it's the support is there around you. And a lot of the times, like earth signs in general, but especially Virgos, you guys are really hard on yourself, and you try to like, bear the brunt of the world like on your shoulder. You try to like it's like suffering in silence. And you don't really ask for help unless you are absolutely on the brink of a nervous breakdown. So the point here is that don't be so hard on yourself. And I got the same message for Capricorn as well. So I feel like a lot of you are very modest. A lot of you are very hard on yourself, just the same way Capricorns are. And I do sense that the support has always been there. It's just more prominent now because it's your birthday time, and you're illuminated. You're able to see things that other people are bringing to the table that have always been there, but you weren't aware of it before. And this is the month in which you're aware of this outpouring of love. And a lot of it is coming from family. A lot of it is like coming from your physical home environment where, things are being decorated, and you like your family, your friends, your social circle, your whatever rifts you have between significant other and family members, that divide, that rift is being crossed, because I feel like people coming together, So if you, in the past, you had to keep the sister away from the boyfriend, or, the mom away from the dad, or the children away from the ex spouse. This is the month in which all of these elements, all of these people are blending together. So you don't have to like go out of your way to compartmentalize and, to put time in one person because they don't get along with another person. So you don't have to like do this whole divide and conquer thing, because it's really exhausting. So I feel like this is the month in which everyone, it doesn't matter who they are, they have to put themselves there and they have to deal with it. And you're okay with that. So you're kind of done accommodating and catering to other people. And now people are catering to you, which is great. Because I feel like you have to do a lot of, keeping things separate, living separate lives, and, being very careful about like trigger topics. But this is the month in which you're like, you know what, I'm done with that. I don't really want to do that anymore. It's very exhausting. And I feel like I am living a lie, So you're not going to do that anymore. And I feel that's great, because now other people around you are realizing, okay, so she's not going to, the Virgo is not going to do that anymore. So I have to accommodate, and that's fine. You deserve it. So the home environment is really robust, is very vibrant. There is celebration here. There is a lot of things that you need to put in your house. Like I feel like decoration, but I don't feel that you're the one doing this. I feel other people are doing this for you, and it looks really nice. So if you're doing any type of like a home renovation, beautification projects, it's very fruitful. Actually, I feel like things are coming together in a very nice in a really like beautiful manner. Okay, so I do wish you the best, Virgos. This is by far the, one of the more positive readings I've had for the mid month of September. So I wish you the best. Take care of yourself.